Okay, well, here we are at the LINQ Casino in Las Vegas, visiting my good mate Rob Williams, the owner of the auto collections. We're up on the 5th floor, and this is interesting because not everything we look at is car related or auto related, and I'm standing here right in front of a Brunswick full bar from Dodge City in Kansas from the 1880s. I think there'd be some amazing history attached to this old girl. Some of the blokes that would have stood at this bar and had a beer or a whiskey. Can you imagine? Dodge City in the 1880s, the Wild West. A lot of fun conversations over this bar and probably a few good bar fights too, I'd imagine. With the owner of this magnificent auto collections, Rob Williams. Rob, I've been coming here for I can't remember how long, and a lot of my cars back at Lost in the 50s Museum have actually come out of here.
That's
through
true.
Many a fun negotiation that you and I have had.
Absolutely.
So I think 17 years?
17 years we've been here.
All right, tell us about this place. Just give us a rundown on this place.
Well, we've 125,000 square feet right on the Las Vegas Strip, which is great for us, obviously.
No doubt you pay $1 zillion a month in rent.
We do not. This is sort of a trade-out with Caesars because we are an attraction
yes, of
for
course,
them. So
of course. And a very good attraction. I mean, every car person that comes to Vegas finds their way to the auto collections.
Oh, yeah, and as you know, we have a great variety of cars, so it's something for everybody.
Always something good for sale here as well. So 17 years, this is your baby. You're here, pretty much live and breathe this every day.
Every day I'm here.
And there's always a new stock and new variety of cars coming in. We're standing next to one of my favourites right now, of which you and I might discuss a little later.
Okay.
But 65 or 6?
65.
65 Lincoln. Now this car, guys, is a one owner, 80,000 miles, in a beautiful blue metallic convertible Lincoln, suicide doors. Geez, Rob, this is a good thing, isn't it?
Amazing car. The car was originally a light blue, which the original owner, Bob Daner, did not like the color. So back in 1971, he decided to make it this beautiful blue color, which is actually a 1969 Cadillac color.
It's a beautiful colour. Now, we were just saying earlier, the market's softened a little bit. This car, go back, say, even 5 years, this would have been almost a 100,000 car.
I seen them as high as $150,000, $160,000 at one time.
And today you can buy this one for 60 grand.
$60,000.
Wow. I mean, it's just beautiful, isn't it? You don't see a lot of these convertible suicide door girls around, and those that you'd normally see are pretty beat up because they're so expensive to restore.
Very expensive to restore.
So to get one in this condition, fully done, wow. I mean, if a restoration on this job, whether it be here or in Australia, 40 grand starter and upwards.
Here, if you were to make this car make this good, and you're getting a car that you need to do everything, would cost you 6 figures.
Wow. So you're into the,
$100,000 to restore this car.
Unbelievable. So this is a very, very special car, 1956 Lincoln Premier, ragtop, the convertible. Look at this colour. It's almost like a aqua, a bit of a...
Aqua teal?
Yeah, a teal colour. The Premier convertibles are a very, very big and very heavy car. Rob, this one here today has got a ticket price on it of $125,000, which for this elusive rare cars, it seems to me like a pretty good price.
It's a very good price. At one point, say, like we was talking about the other car 5 years ago, this car was probably about $250,000.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I had a Lincoln Premier in the coupe, the two-door, and it was the salmon colour.
Yes.
With the white top, and it was a big, big, heavy car, and I don't think I've ever seen personally the convertible in it, so it's nice to see one come up for sale. This is a beautiful example. It looks like it's just had a restoration recently, but I'm not so sure.
Restoration is probably pushing 20 years old now, and won every major award in the Ford Lincoln, shows throughout the country, and so at the time of restoration was one of the best ones available.
So it sort of explains it, doesn't it? Here I am thinking it's a recent restoration. You're telling me it's 20 years old, so it's quality all the way through.
Obviously amazing.
And hence the price tag. And as we said, the market's softened, and $125,000 for a car of this quality. Can you imagine today, we talked about the other Lincoln earlier, can you imagine trying to restore a 56 Premier?
No.
You couldn't do it. You couldn't even find the parts to do the restoration. No. So it's remarkable. Keeping on with the theme of absolute gems of motor cars.
Yes.
This has an interesting story, which we'll get to, but the car itself, without the history and the story, 54 Cadillac Fleetwood, impressive motor, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. And this one, mainly all original car with 63,000 original miles, totally 100% original interior, one repaint in its life, but a very, very significant car before all the celebrities that we're going to talk about.
Of course. Now, all the jet black Cadillac limo almost, it's a big Fleetwood, so it very much is a limousine small version.
Small version, yes.
Green interior, which is just, most people think, oh, green interior, but wow, the Cadillac green interior just works. So, Rob, the significance of this car is not just the fact that it's a beautiful 54 Cadillac Fleetwood, but this is the car that Marilyn Monroe was filmed in for the making of the movie Bus Stop.
Yes, and she actually wasn't filmed in the car. This car was used to transport her to the movie set.
Oh, gotcha. So this was her mode of transportation from the hotel to the movie set. Now, there is a little bit of spice attached to this because...
A little bit of spice. When Tony Curtis was alive, he came here to the auto collection and told us the stories about the car. And at the time, Tony was dating Marilyn.
So do we know in the back seat did Tony sort of elaborate on any sort of cuddles?
He did. I'd rather not repeat it. Yes.
They're gone, mate. Nobody's going to hurt nowadays. Give us an Australian first here.
They had fun back then.
No doubt. So there's an exclusive for you guys back at home. We're not going to go any further, but Marilyn and Tony, who were dating at the time, and sat in the back seat of the car, and Tony did say yes, there was something happened, but we'll leave it up to your imagination. But what a beautiful, beautiful motor car. It's not for sale. It belongs to a good personal friend of Rob's who is delighted to have it here on display for all the visitors here at the auto collection. And it's going to go back home soon. It's had a nice little residence here, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been here a good probably 5 years now.
And in that time, it's always one of the most talked about cars. So
yes, absolutely.
Who wouldn't want to own a 54 Caddy Fleetwood in their collection? Okay, so again, the significance of the theme wow in the motor industry, and I've got to tell you, we're now in Mopar territory, Rob, 57 Chrysler 300C.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to hand it over to you because you know this baby very well.
No, by far my favorite letter series car is the 300C because of the fins on the back of the car. One of the original Hemming 392 engines, dual quad carburetors. This one fully restored, a little over 20 years ago, nut and bolt. 100%. It's incredible restoration and still looks as good as it did 20 years ago when it was done. Amazing
looking car, these Chrysler 300s. As you said, from front to back, that fin, how it's just a beautiful looking car. And then being a rag top, gosh, that's a sort of a bonus for me. I know a lot of the Mopar guys like the hard tops. I particularly like this. But the interesting part now is 145,000.
Yes.
I mean, we know the market's softened a little bit. We talked about that, but that's a big drop from what I'm looking at outside of looking into the market.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a significant reduction, isn't it, nowadays, on a Mopar of this quality?
These cars were bringing over $100,000 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And got as high as probably $300,000 for an example like this.
And have now dropped back and settled into the 150 mark.
Range, yes.
But you were saying earlier, Rob, that there's some others you know that are for sale, the same car, not a lot, 2 or 3 others, that aren't up to the standard of this, but their prices are still up near the 2s.
Yes.
So there's still a few floating around, hopefuls, I guess you would call them in this market.
The last time I checked, there were 3 other 300C convertibles for sale in the United States. And
wow.
They were all much higher priced than the one we have here.
Yeah, there's a couple of nice ones back at home in Australia, a particular nice Reb one, but it's a 300F. And it's well priced as well, but this is just magnificent. It's just a beautiful car. And as we keep saying, and it's hard when we come over here and see the quality of this, wow, what else can you say? It sort of sums it up, doesn't it?
It is. It's an amazing car.
Beautiful. Let's move on. Action, take 6. We're still here at the LINQ. You can't get rid of us. You know what it's like. When we come to visit, we bring the tent.
I love you being here.
We bring the tent and set up our camping facilities and spend a week here. I mean, goodness me. So we've just spoken about Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis in the black Cadillac. And lo and behold, we're wandering around the place and Rob casually says to me, oh, by the way, Glenn, we just got Elvis Presley's first Cadillac limousine in yesterday. And he just says it in a way like, oh, well, it's really insignificant. When we were talking the king here, and this is his car. And I'm just a bit flabbergasted. But, Rob, talk to us about this because there's another wonderful story about Elvis's dad.
Yeah, his dad, Vernon, had to co-sign for the car when he bought the car because he wasn't old enough yet. We had just gotten the car in yesterday. It is a 1955 Cadillac Series 75, which is the commercial chassis limousine. Which they made very few of. But it is reported that Elvis, when he was touring the South, when he's first getting started with his band, he used to put his guitars and all of his equipment on top of the car and strap it down, and his whole band would tour around the South in this car.
So you can just see it now, can't you? All the boys piling in the back. Elvis outside jumps in and says, okay, have a quick look. You've got guitars and drum sets and amplifiers and everything thrown on the roof of a Cadillac limo. It's sacrilege.
Yep.
An absolute sacrilege that someone would do that. But it was Elvis, and it was a very long time ago, and sadly a time we're never going to see again. But again, these cars, Rob, I mean, this is the first limousine owned by the King. There is no other first limousine owned by the King.
No.
We're looking at it, and we're touching it, and we're here, and he rode in it, his band rode in it, the times and the laughs and the fun they would have had touring around doing their concerts. Gee whiz, I mean, I know it was a bit nonchalant. Oh, we've got Elvis's first car here, but got to tell you, I think I'm just going to stand here for the rest of the day. And thank you, by the way, for letting us know it's here, because there's so much to look at. We may have bypassed it had you not said that, but for me, this is an absolute number one, tick the box.
It's amazing to have this car here.
Yeah, and a great piece for those of you guys that are heading across here. Given the chance to come, you must come up to the 5th floor, the auto collections at the LINQ Casino. Come and say hello, ask for Rob, tell him you're one of my mates. You probably won't get in the door, or you'll get charged double. So get on up here. Stuff like this, I'm just looking down the aisle here as I'm saying this, and I know we're going to have to go there. There's the Kennedy Lincoln down there, so dear me. Come on, let's go. So guys, this is a bit of a treat. Thanks to Rob Williams from the Auto Collections. Rob's allowed me to hop on into the car. This is a 1960 Lincoln Continental that came out of the John F. Kennedy motor pool. Now, I'm a big John F. Kennedy fan and the history around America's greatest president. And for me to have the opportunity to have a sit in this, knowing that he was in the back there on many occasions, chauffeured around during his presidential years in this car, it's pretty special. And I'm sure you guys will get a kick out of the fact that there's an Aussie sitting in the president's car. Even though I'm sitting in the driver's seat, I'm going to hop in the back in a minute, because that's where the president sat. And beautiful car. It's unrestored, so it's a bit knocked around, but it's also 1960, so plenty of years up on it. So, as I said, who's the lucky boy? I'm sitting in the same seat that President John F. Kennedy sat in the 60 Lincoln. This is just a wonderful moment for me and for all you guys and the Lost in the 50s supporters. This was the car that he got ferried around in. I even imagine at some stage that he may well have used the Bakelite phone that's still here. We have the glass divider for the privacy calls. There's not much I can say. I might just sit here for a moment in the quiet and take in where I am and what I'm doing.